Comparing yourself to others is like trying to wear clothes that were never made for you. They may look beautiful, admired by everyone, but they will never feel right. Every step becomes uncomfortable. Every move feels heavy. And yet many people keep trying, thinking that looking good in someone else's life is better than living their own comfortably. Rina had been doing this for years. She lived in a busy city where life felt like a never-ending race. People around her seemed to have everything. Her friends bought fancy cars, traveled to exotic countries, got promotions, and celebrated achievements. Rina wasn't jealous exactly, but every glance at their lives made her feel smaller, like a tiny candle struggling to shine among giant, blazing torches. Every morning she would scroll through social media, seeing pictures of success, happiness, and perfection. Each post, each smile, seemed to whisper, "Look at them, and look at you." Slowly, Rina started measuring her own life against others. She compared her house, her clothes, her job, and even her hobbies. And slowly, she forgot to enjoy her own journey. One rainy evening, feeling lost and tired, Rina wandered through streets she usually ignored. Her steps were slow, her mind heavy with thoughts of not enough. Suddenly she noticed a narrow, quiet alley she had never seen before. At the end of it stood a small old shop with a wooden sign that read, "The Garden of Growth, free to enter." Curiosity pulled her forward. She stepped inside. To her surprise, it was not a shop at all. It was a warm, glowing greenhouse. Sunlight poured through glass walls, illuminating hundreds of plants of every shape, color, and size. Some were tall, their flowers blooming brilliantly. Others were small, fragile, barely sprouting leaves. A few seemed wilted, almost as if giving up. A gentle man with white hair was kneeling on the floor, tending to a tiny sapling. His movements were slow, careful, and full of care. He noticed Rina and smiled. "You've come at the right time," he said softly. "This garden is in its season of growth." Rina walked around. Each plant had a small wooden plaque next to it. But the names weren't the names of the plants, they were the names of people. Some plants were strong and full of flowers. Others were tiny buds, still struggling to grow. A few were almost withered. "Why do they all look so different?" Rina asked, puzzled. The man finally looked at her. His eyes were calm but deep, as if he could see right into her heart. Each plant grows in its own way, at its own pace. They do not compare themselves to others. Only humans do that. And that is why they suffer. Rina frowned. But how would a plant know if it's behind? The man smiled gently. Behind? According to whom? The sunflower does not worry that the jasmine bloomed first. It simply turns toward the sun and drinks the water it receives. That is all it needs. You must do the same. Focus on your own growth, your own journey. He handed Rina a small pot with a tiny seed inside. Take this home. Care for it every day, but never look at anyone else's plant. Focus only on yours. Rina took the seed home. Days passed. Some mornings she felt as if nothing was happening. She was tempted to compare her seed with the big plants in her friend's garden, or even think about the flourishing plants in the greenhouse. But she remembered the man's words. She watered her plant, gave it sunlight, and waited patiently. Weeks passed. A small green shoot appeared, then leaves, then a single tiny bud, and finally one morning it bloomed. It was unlike anything Rina had ever seen. Its petals shimmered in colors that seemed to dance in sunlight, unique, beautiful, and perfect in its own way. When she returned to the greenhouse to thank the man, he was tending another plant. "See," he said, "your flower could never have grown if you spent your days wishing it were a rose, a tulip, or anything else. You cannot bloom if you keep comparing yourself to someone else's path. Focus on your journey, take care of your own growth. That is the only way to truly flourish." From that day, Rina still noticed the gardens of others, but she no longer felt the pull to compare. She had her own plant, her own pace, her own growth, and that was enough. Don't compare your life with others. Focus on your journey, your pace, and your growth. Everyone blooms in their own time. Envy and comparison only steal your happiness. Care for yourself like a gardener cares for a tiny seed, and your life will blossom in its own beautiful way. So, remember, your journey, your growth, your time, that is enough. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe to our channel, Moral Echo Tales, for more inspirational and life-changing stories. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a tale that can change your life.